God's blessings to everyone. This is a DGHradio.com news and information news update for the United States Virgin Islands, and I'm reporter DKS reporting the news for Wednesday, October 8, 2025. Covering the latest developments from across the United States Virgin Islands. Residents on St. John packed a town hall to challenge a Virgin Islands Port Authority proposal to raise and add marine-related fees. Speakers warned that higher barge ramp charges, a new per-passenger add-on for riders, cargo overflow fees, and expanded paid parking would ripple through the price of groceries, construction materials, and everyday inter-island travel. VIPA says some rates have not changed in years, maintenance is expensive, and feedback is being collected across all three islands before any final vote. Community advocates are pressing for updated, island-specific financials and a phased or tiered approach that protects essential commuters. Tropical storm. Jerry is moving west to west-northwest in the central Atlantic and is expected to strengthen as it approaches the northern Leeward Islands late this week. While current guidance favors a pass near or north of the island chain, long-period swells and a higher rip current risk are likely to reach our beaches even without a direct impact. Expect periods of gusty showers in passing bands and choppy marine conditions. Small craft should plan conservatively during the swell peak. Heat and humidity also remain elevated, so hydrate, pace outdoor work, and check on vulnerable neighbors. Governor Albert Bryan Jr. is organizing a joint appeal with fellow territorial leaders to ease a federal customs policy that has complicated small package shipments under $800. Local merchants report duty calculations and handling fees appearing at checkout, confused customers abandoning online carts, and longer delivery times for goods that are scarce on island. The administration is seeking a carve-out tailored to the logistics realities of U.S. territories, especially ahead of the holiday season. Until federal guidance changes, businesses are adjusting storefronts and warning customers about possible duty estimates at payment. Commuters between St. Thomas and St. John should expect temporary ferry schedule adjustments while vessels rotate through maintenance. Operators say the modified timetables preserve key peak runs where possible, with off-peak gaps more noticeable during weekdays and weekends. Riders are urged to check departure times before heading to Red Hook or Cruz Bay and to budget extra time at the docks. Companies say proactive maintenance now helps prevent larger disruptions later in the season. The Attorney General has issued an opinion stating that the Coastal Zone Management Permit for the proposed Summers End Marina in Coral Bay remains valid until all required federal approvals are in hand. That interpretation means the one-year construction start clock has not begun and the permit has not lapsed. The opinion does not authorize immediate construction. Multiple conditions and reviews still apply, and agencies must clearly communicate the remaining checkpoints. Supporters view the clarity as a path to investment and jobs. Critics are renewing calls for rigorous environmental safeguards and transparent compliance reporting. Public school teachers across St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix have ratified a 4-year collective bargaining agreement. The contract provides structured salary increases, retroactive pay, and improvements to working conditions such as clearer guidance on class sizes and resources. Union leaders say the settlement restores stability after contentious talks, and government negotiators call it a fiscally responsible commitment to educators and students. Implementation will be the test, ensuring back pay is timely, staffing supports are real, and classroom conditions track the language of the agreement. Health officials are warning of an early and potent start to the flu season and are urging residents to get vaccinated now. Clinics, private providers, and pharmacies across the territory have doses on hand for children, seniors, pregnant people, and those with chronic conditions. Symptoms can include fever, cough, sore throat, body aches, and fatigue. Vaccination remains the most effective prevention. Authorities also recommend frequent hand washing, covering coughs and sneezes, and staying home when sick to reduce spread and protect hospital capacity. The Department of Tourism has launched a new brand platform, Naturally in Rhythm, to refresh the territory's image heading into peak season. The campaign pairs the island's natural landscapes with music, food, and cultural heritage, aiming to encourage longer stays and higher on-island spending. Expect a heavier push in key mainland markets via digital, social, and broadcast placements, including partnerships with travel creators. The initiative seeks to differentiate the Virgin Islands in a crowded Caribbean field by emphasizing authentic experiences across all three main islands. Scientists at the University of the Virgin Islands are documenting a severe coral bleaching event around the territory driven by sustained, record-high sea surface temperatures. Bleaching occurs when heat-stressed corals expel symbiotic algae. Many can recover if water is cool, but prolonged heat increases mortality. Healthy reefs support fisheries, protect shorelines from storm surge, and anchor dive and snorkel tourism. Managers ask boaters and swimmers to avoid anchoring on coral, reduce contact with reef structures, and report unusual conditions to monitoring programs. The Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority reports significant progress on its Christiansted undergrounding project, part of a broader multi-year strategy to harden the grid against hurricanes. Crews have been trenching, laying conduit, and pulling new cables with temporary detours around work zones. Underground distribution aims to reduce widespread outages from downed poles and wires and to improve reliability in one of St. Croix's economic and cultural hubs. Aesthetic improvements from removing overhead lines are an added benefit for residents and visitors. WAPA leadership also says it is modernizing billing after years in which customers often received estimated statements rather than charges based on actual usage. Planned fixes include meter reading upgrades, better data management, and new verification checks to reduce adjustments and speed dispute resolution. Consumer advocates want clear milestones, more on-time reads, fewer bill corrections, and faster case handling. Regulators and lawmakers are expected to track complaint volumes and collections data to measure progress. The Virgin Islands Police Department has announced a major anti-drug operation on St. Croix that resulted in multiple arrests and the seizure of a large quantity of cocaine and several firearms. Officials say the raids were part of a multi-agency investigation targeting a suspected trafficking group with additional arrests possible as evidence is processed. Police leadership praised local and federal partners and underscored the link between drug trafficking and violent crime. Suspects are expected to face charges tied to narcotics distribution and illegal weapons possession. A federal appellate panel has upheld a restitution order and fine in a public funds misuse case tied to a gaming oversight body. The ruling affirms the lower court's handling of evidence, jury instructions, and sentencing, and requires repayment of nearly $250,000. Officials say the decision reinforces accountability for the stewardship of public money. The case is a reminder that misuse of funds carries lasting financial and legal consequences. In a separate court development, a territorial judge has ruled that the odor of marijuana alone no longer justifies a vehicle search under current Virgin Islands law. The decision stems from a traffic stop in Christiansted in which evidence was suppressed because the search relied solely on smell. Police departments are expected to update training and policies to align with the ruling. For drivers, this is both a civil liberties reminder and a call to follow traffic laws and cooperate respectfully during stops. Delegates to the 6th Constitutional Convention are racing an October 31st deadline to submit a draft governing document and are seeking more time to expand public outreach. Members say the draft borrows global best practices but needs broader participation before legal review. Expect more community sessions and plain language explainers as provisions take shape. Whether lawmakers extend the timeline may hinge on a concrete plan for outreach milestones and clear summaries that show how the draft will affect daily life. The Local Food and Farm Council reviewed progress and gaps in its 8-point plan to boost local production and reduce import dependence. Wins to date include producer grants on all three islands, expanded youth agriculture programs, and steps toward unified branding for local goods. Challenges include unfilled roles, delayed rulemaking, and the need for a dedicated coordinator to knit efforts together. Reaching long-term targets will require steady staffing, cold chain and water infrastructure, and continued education so school gardens grow into farm-to-market careers. The Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority has announced a new grant program to support small businesses seeking to expand, innovate, or upgrade operations. Eligible firms will be able to apply for flexible awards that can be used for equipment, technology, marketing, or hiring. Workshops are planned to walk applicants through criteria and timelines, with an emphasis on businesses that demonstrate community impact and a plan for sustainable growth. The initiative aims to inject capital at the grassroots level and diversify the local economy. Community volunteers removed more than 3 tons of debris from beaches during Coast Week's cleanups across St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix. Participants cataloged everything from single-use plastics to derelict fishing gear, contributing data to a global database used to shape policy and prevention. Organizers say the effort protects wildlife, improves beach access, and educates families on everyday habits that reduce waste. Additional shoreline events are scheduled this month, with students able to earn service hours. On St. Croix, lawmakers are considering a $5 million reprogramming to restart horse racing at the Randall Doc James Racetrack. The phased plan prioritizes resurfacing, paddock repairs, and safety measures after years of stalled private deals and storm damage. Supporters see jobs, tradition, and youth opportunities. Skeptics want tighter timelines, independent oversight, and guarantees that earlier mistakes will not repeat. Amendments have moved the measure forward, with contracting details and progress benchmarks likely to dominate next steps. A regional carrier plans to launch St. Croix San Juan service in early November, with introductory one-way fares in the mid-70s, complementing daily St. Croix St. Thomas flights. Added seats and improved timing should help business travelers, medical commuters, and families making same-day connections to the mainland. Better connectivity also supports tourism as winter bookings rise. Travelers should check carriers for specific schedules and sale windows. Loved ones of Sarm Heslop, who disappeared from a yacht off St. John in March 2021, are renewing calls for cooperation with investigators after renewed media attention. Family advocates want the case treated as a serious crime probe and are pushing for more information from the boat's owner. The appeal underscores the enduring impact of unsolved cases on community confidence and tourism-dependent destinations. Authorities continue to encourage anyone with information to come forward. These and other issues are of great concern within the islands. What do you think are some good solutions? Let us know your thoughts by texting your comments to 1-315-898-1449. You can also join our WhatsApp group and get the news, weather, and other insightful information delivered right to your smartphone. To join, text JOIN to 1-315-898-1449. Please include your name in the text message. You will receive a call to verify your request. I'm your reporter, DKS, signing off for DGHradio.com. Remember, DKS and DGH, together we dream kindly, speak deeply, and give hope, because on DGHradio.com, the news never sleeps. Goodbye for now. Ciao.